Okay, Rhodes. There is a new mayor in Chicago, right?
That is correct.
That would be the socialist, progressive Brandon Johnson over there in Chicago. Chicago is a lost cause, man. I don't see how anybody could actually live in that city.
They have went from the frying pan with Lori Lightfoot, Beetlejuice being gone, to the fire with the new socialist radical that is in office up there now, and he is a massive fan of elevating the rights of criminals,
Yep.
in which is frightening when you consider that Chicago is a war zone
Yeah,
every
remember
day up
you remember
there.
what he said, man, when all those kids were actually downtown rioting. He said, "Oh no, we can't blame the kids. They don't have nothing to do. This is the kind of
Y-
person y'all voted for.
Yeah, we can. We can't blame them. Yeah, they do have
That one hold the
responsibility in
kids
that.
accountable whatsoever. And where was their mom and daddy at? That's what I want to know. I mean, why you have teenagers in downtown Chicago at midnight? Why?
No
Curious about that.
supervision. No supervision. No morals. No values.
Yep. But man, we got bad news. I think your numbers when you text me on this, man, because remember we actually did all of these videos on how deadly Chicago is on Mondays. I
Right.
think the number that you had text me about is bigger than the article I actually have pulled up now. But
Yeah,
look
over at the
this.
Blaze, the headline is 51 shot, 12 fatally.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pull up that unless you already got it pulled up.
I've got it pulled up.
You got it pulled up? Okay, because
Yeah, I do.
I had a local Chicago station here, 43 shot, 9 dead.
Yeah.
Yours has bigger numbers, so let's just roll with what you got, man.
All right, man. Chicago suffered yet another bloody Memorial Day weekend with at least 51 shot,
Wow.
including 12 who were shot fatally. The widespread gun warfare, there I cleaned that up for you, Blaze, occurred despite dozens of, quote, peacekeepers patrolling the Windy City in an attempt to decrease bloodshed. WFLD reported by Sunday night 12 people had been shot and killed during Memorial Day weekend. Keep in mind, we haven't made it through today yet.
Yeah.
HeyJackass.com, a site dedicated to gun violence statistics in Chicago, reported that there were 10 people shot and killed in Chicago on Saturday. Wow.
Wait, just on Saturday, 10.
Just Saturday.
Wow.
Just Saturday. Yeah. And it goes on to talk about the numbers that you got from the Chicago Times. At least 39 people were wounded in and around the city. A 2-year-old girl reportedly shot herself when she found a gun. That, before the media decides to run with that narrative, is of the fault of the parenting there, not of the gun, because somebody didn't have their gun put up and protected away from their 2-year-old. WLS reported police said the 2-year-old girl found a handgun, accidentally discharged, shooting herself in the hand. She was transported to St. Francis Hospital in good condition. And that's the thing about so many of these, and your article may actually have it because a lot of times they will break down the people that are underaged on some of the the television sites. There's a 14-year-old girl that was sitting on the sidewalk with a group of people in the neighborhood of Inglewood when shots were fired. The girl was glazed in the right arm by a bullet. Wow. Look at this. One person was reportedly shot and killed on Saturday, less than 2 blocks from the West Side home of newly elected
What?
Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
I did not know that.
Days earlier, the progressive Democrat mayor unveiled his plans to cut down on violence in Chicago. My administration's top priority is making sure there is comprehensive whole of government strategy across our city and that it's making people safe. my God, save that bullshit for somebody that will actually believe it. Because I don't believe for a second that he's going to act and do anything on this. This reminds me, do you remember, I believe his name was Willie Wilson, running for that office as a mayor candidate up there? And everybody lost their mind, including Lori Lightfoot, when she come out and he came out and just said it. He said it. He said, at what point do we finally start treating criminals like rabbits and go hunting? He just come out and said that.
Was he the moderate Democrat in the runoff?
He's actually much more of an independent.
Okay.
But I don't think he ran with a D next to his name. I think he
well,
ran
no,
with
none
an
of
I.
none of these people do in Chicago. They have what they say nonpartisan elections, but all these people are Democrats. Like Lori Lightfoot's on the ticket as nonpartisan. She's a Democrat.
He got a lot of backlash for that comment, but look, at some point, you got to take some harsher protocols and actions.
Yeah.
You got to start. If it was me in my term, I'd start put together strike teams and just start kicking indoors. At some point you got to fight some fire with fire.
Yeah, but they're not going to let somebody, that's tough on crime like that.
No,
remember, they had the opportunity for the moderate, and actually, guys, in the general election, the moderate is the one that actually got the most votes. But then when the runoff came, it was him and Brandon Johnson, and guess what? Chicago voted for the radical, the soft on crime radical.
And
and now you got 50 plus people. I'm willing to bet, man, this number's probably going to go up to, what do you say, 60 people shot? I would probably put
by
another.
By the end of today, it wouldn't shock me if it's 70. It wouldn't. Wouldn't.
And probably add another 3 dead people to it, 4, something like that.
And
that wouldn't surprise me.
They've got no excuse. Miami is the blueprint. Once a cocaine capital of the world. Francis Suarez, that Republican mayor, took office, and when everybody else was defunding the police, he funded them. He gave them more money when everybody was defunding the police, much more money, and he flooded Miami-Dade County with cops everywhere. And guess what? Miami's crime is way, way down.
Yep.
It's one of the places where people actually want to move. Now think about Miami in the 80s and the 90s and the late 70s. It was warfare with cocaine funding it everywhere. And if Miami can be greatly cleaned up, anybody can get greatly cleaned up. So it's just an excuse. They got to have the right leadership come in and start, I'll just keep it real, start cracking heads. Yep. Come on.
They need a Giuliani type of guy. Remember, Giuliani came in, he cleaned up New York.
Absolutely.
Cleaned it up.
Yeah.
And now New York is a dumpster fire again. The dumpster fire.
It was unbelievable what Giuliani got those murder statistics down to in New York. It was baffling. They were so small compared to where they were at. There was it had become like one of the best tourist destinations in the country, and people had gotten to the point in New York they wasn't afraid to walk hardly anywhere anymore because you weren't going to get shot and killed like back in the day.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
But Chicago,
crazy.
man, you voted for this.
Yep.
Chicago, you voted for this. And guess what? Brandon Johnson got the most votes in the most crime-ridden areas. Think about that. These people are institutionalized, man. They don't change their voting habits. You couldn't vote for the moderate. Oh, no, you can't do that. And now you got more blood on your hands. The people in Chicago, they're going to have to take responsibility for the way they vote. They voted for this, and it's costing people their lives.
These people are brainwashed. The definition of insanity is to continue to do the same thing and believe that anything's going to change. Of course,
Yeah.
it's not.
You know what?
takes
I was actually
Drastic, swift, harsh action. Harsh. Keyword harsh.
I was actually watching a Black Conservative Perspectives video yesterday on my way back, and it was about this bus driver. He got fired. Why did he get fired? Because he actually had a gun on the bus. The reason he had a gun on the bus is because this one passenger lost his mind because he wanted to get off early between stops, and you can't do that. And
I saw the video.
The guy
I saw the
pulled
video.
a gun on the bus driver
Yep.
and started shooting, and the guy fired back. Guess what? Those rules about you can't have a gun, those rules would have got him killed because he wouldn't have been able to protect himself. But they fired him, though. They fired him. Nuts.
I saw the video. It was something else.
Yeah.
I mean, they were within probably 7 feet of each other, just blasting. You know, it's frightening. But